Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, and today for you I have episode 5 of the show Titans, titled Together. There's a lot of funny moments in this episode. This and the one after that, which I will be uploading and doing tomorrow. I've been really pleased with it. There's a lot of good, funny stuff written in. The dialogue's really good. There's a lot of really light-hearted moments. But yeah, so the beginning of this episode starts out, we find out that Dick traded the Porsche that he had for a minivan, which I find pretty funny. And then they go to a hotel where they're trying to hide out because they know eventually that I found out they're called the nuclear family. Well, basically it's just a matter of time before they get found, so they hide in this little dumpy motel. And when Dick is renting the rooms, the lady who owns the hotel, we find out her husband left her and basically left her in charge. Well, she kind of makes advances to Dick, and he kind of seems flattered at first, but he doesn't really make much of it. And I kind of find it interesting because I was actually just watching a video the other day saying that in one of the comic timelines, I forget which one, but it says he loses his virginity to an older woman, and I just thought that was kind of funny. I'm not sure if that's an intentional knockback to it or not, but I just thought it was funny. So next, Dick proposes that they all learn each other's moves so that they could fight, because he basically says they're a team but doesn't officially say that they're a team. And it's a nice scene because you get to see everybody again a little vulnerable because they don't really know how to use their powers, but they have to show each other just so they all kind of know what they're dealing with. And Dick's the only person who doesn't show anything, and they say, well, what's your superpower? And he says it's keeping you alive, which is awesome because, Batman and him, the characters for that, they don't have superpowers. They're just normal people, so for them to kind of do that is just another thing of them showing, a vulnerable side to a character. There was another funny part where in the prior episode we find out that the nuclear family is going to be getting a new dad since Starfire killed the original one, and the son replies, that one of the other kids has two moms and that he wanted two moms, which is funny. And there's another scene where Robin and Starfire get to see Beast Boy and Raven kind of flirting and just being kids, and like I said in other episodes, it's still interesting for me to see that he's still looking at them as, they're both kids still, but everybody else still looks at them as they're adults. So it's really interesting to see that he kind of has a more grounded sense of the way that things should be. They keep kind of making implications that they want to see what Dick can do, since he just said, I can save you, or I can keep you alive. That's all he really said. So they kind of amp it up where they're waiting for him to see what he can do. And so one thing I was waiting to see if it was going to happen or not is Starfire and Robin. She shows up at his door with a bottle of tequila and they have sex. I was wondering if they were going to do this relationship or not, but they kind of left it where it's still a little convoluted to them and to us, because Starfire, you can see I don't want to say has an attachment, but you could tell she kind of feels something, and being classic Dick, he doesn't want to get involved because he doesn't want to hurt people like he has before so far in the show and in the comics that we know of. In this episode, I really wanted to point out that they really put a lot of pressure on Dick. They do a really good job expressing how much weight that he has on his shoulders, just from, whatever he's going through, because we're still finding that out, and we do find out a lot in the next episode. But, it's almost kind of like when you start to kind of gravitate towards a certain character, at least for me, it seems like they pull you back because, like I said before in the first episode, they kind of make it seem like Raven and Dick are the main characters, which I still kind of find to be true, but every time you kind of stray, they just kind of ground them more that make you gravitate back towards them, and that's what I love about this show so far. Right after Starfire and Robin have sex, the woman from the front desk shows up at his room with a bottle of wine, and he implies that, you know, he's not interested. But I thought it was funny because I'm not sure if they were going to have it be where he's like, oh, okay, you know. It was just fun to see if they were going to do that or not. But, you know, he was a gentleman about it and told her no. After this episode, I love every action scene so far in the show. It's so well shot and choreographed. Just everything they do. It's this so far from what I'm gonna say is a bold statement, but everything that they've done so far in the show is such a good representation of what the DCU should be doing in movies. It's just, if they could translate this into a movie, then they would be fine. So later in the episode, Dick, there's a moment where he disappears and then he reappears as Robin, and it's kind of like an introduction because this is the first time all the other characters are seeing him dressed as Robin because they don't really know what he can do. And it's interesting because Beast Boy is the first person who's like, you know, oh my god, this is Robin. So they know who he is. So he has at least been around for, I don't want to say 15 years, but we could probably imagine he may have been around at least that long at this point. So he's pretty well known, almost as well as Batman. Because, like in the first episode, they see Robin when he's fighting, and they think that Batman's around. So they are pretty synonymous at this point with each other. Like I said before, this is kind of like a team-building episode, and I'm okay with that. The more that they can build these characters up and this, you know, like family together, it's only going to work out for the benefit of the show. So I can sit through this as much. So I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think we've even begun to get to the good stuff yet, which I can't wait for. After everybody finds out who Dick is, Beast Boy says, you know, so are we ever going to meet Batman? And he kind of shrugs it off and he says no, which is pretty funny because I don't know if they're doing that to answer the fans, like, you know, hey, are we ever going to see a Batman? But like I said before, if they do ever have a Batman on here, I would love for them to go back and get one of the older ones. I mean, I don't care if it's, you know, Michael Keaton. They could go get Val Kilmer. They could use Christian Bale. It would be interesting if they pulled one of them to be like an older Batman, but not too far in the future. You know what I mean? To kind of pop up, which could be interesting, but I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not keeping my hopes up too high, just because I understand why they wouldn't want to introduce Batman into this yet. At the very end of this episode, it appears that there's a new Robin that pops up and saves Dick in the end. And when I saw this scene, the first thing I said was, "Holy shit!" Like that was a good reveal. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic. I'll talk more about that in the next episode, but overall, this was a really good episode. I would definitely put this as maybe being like second best so far to Hawk and Dove as far as overall like cohesiveness. Not to say that the other episodes are bad, but like Hawk and Dove, this episode, I can already tell you right now, the next episode, they feel just so, they represent the best of what this show can be. And as long as they keep progressing in that direction, it's going to be really good. So tomorrow I'm going to be uploading the next episode, and then I'll finally be caught up on the series. And then next Tuesday and Wednesday, I will be planning to probably do the next episode and then maybe a movie or something, because I also want to review movies. But thanks for checking out this video. Check out the rest of them if you're not caught up on the show. See if you agree. I would love to hear what you say. Post a comment, subscribe, like. I look forward to seeing you guys next time, and have a good one.